Big Boar Barbecue presents Seven Rivers Racing with Dan Diker and Billy Doc Niles. Today's program is brought to you by Big Boar Barbecue on Highway 16 West Salem and downtown La Crosse. Big Boar Barbecue, now that's a mouthful. By Carey Heating and Air Conditioning, your residential specialists on La Crosse's north side. By Pizza Hut in La Crosse and Winona. Pizza Hut. Now here's Dan with this week's show.
Big Boar Barbecue presents Seven Rivers Racing, KQEG TV. Good time, good day, good evening, whenever you're watching us, because it's on sporadically throughout the day. I'm Dan Diker. That is Billy Doc Niles. Did your voice recover after you trashed it announcing for me a couple weeks ago?
Oh, I was on the show last week, so you know it sounded great. But
that was only glimpses, though.
You know, I wasn't there Saturday night, so you had to fly solo. I know how hard that is for you.
Yeah, it was tough. it was tough with Aspen here and Rick over here and OJ. I mean, it was.
You know, everything I was reading on Facebook, because you know I was at a concert, but I was keeping an eye on my phone there. Everything I was reading. Hot action at the Speedway Saturday night. Some great stuff going on from what I was reading.
You had, and we're going to share the video recaps like we normally do in segment one. You had drivers winning from the back row. You had drivers watching their motors blow up. Steve Bachman cannot get this. I don't know what you want to call it off his back for the past 3 years. I mean, there's nobody I've seen out there that wants a championship more than he does right now.
I don't think there was anybody more prepared in the sportsman class this year than him, and just the bad luck he's had, the spin-outs and the features, the blown motor last week. Man, if anybody needs a season to turn around, and right now it's Steve Bachman.
Same thing with newcomer Adam Augsborough. Man, yep. He was just right in Bachman's trails, but hopefully we can share that later on in the program.
The last 2 weeks, he's just been in the wrong place at the wrong time, wow. And it's getting expensive in that sportsman class right now.
Well, a gentleman that was in the right place at the right time from the beginning of the late model race on Saturday night was Jesse Poxic, the Polish Punisher. Let's show you the last two laps of this one right here. It was kind of different, and I had mentioned this during the race, announcing that there was no Steve Carlson, Mike Carlson, Brad Powell, Adam Degenhardt, Matt Henderson. It was Jesse Poxic, Nick Clements, and Corey Jankowski.
You know, if you talked to Jesse a few weeks ago, he had a big lead similar to this, and a yellow flag, shut it right down. But this week, no yellow flag, and what an impressive run for the rookie. I mean, he got his feet wet last year a couple of times, and he looks like he's on top of his game. And if you listen to our radio show, we did an interview with him at the beginning of the year, and we told him the legacy he had to live up to with that car, and it's two previous owners. So he's doing a good job of living up to that legacy right now.
Caution comes out, and the complexity of that race changes.
Oh, definitely. I mean, our next segment guest, Nick Clements, right on, could have been right on his heels. That would have been a great shootout, seeing them two side by side. I see Paninsky finish fifth. I mean, he was going to be close if there had been a yellow flag. Carlson was going to be close. This could have been a heck of a finish if there was a yellow, but, that's the nice thing people who start up front like to see is they get a big lead. They don't want to see that yellow.
Going to the sportsman, so congratulations goes out to Jesse Poxic for winning that. Nick Clements was second. He's our guest in the program today. Corey Jankowski rounds out the top three. How about Randy Humfeld in the sportsman class of the Speedway? We're going to show the last two laps of that one right now. Makes his way from 8th to 1st in one lap.
Incredible. I mean, that's in the pedigree of that car. I mean, he's won a championship in it before. Nick Clements has won 2 with it. That car has just been solid fast the last, 4 or 5 years. And, I bit my tongue at the beginning of the year because, I said he'd have some rust to shake off, and there's no rust in this guy right now. He is just blazing fast. And we've had 4 features in the sportsman class. We've had 2 feature winners. It's just been Humfeld, and it's just been Warthen. This is going to be a fun race all the way down to the end.
Warthen, as you saw right there, finishes second. Jeff Thompson continues his good trek this year in a new car as he crosses his third.
If there are 2 consistent people in the sportsman class right now, it's Thompson and it's Mandy Uckelberg. She's been at the right place at the right time. She's been in the top 10, all 4 features. What a consistent run by someone who's not normally at the front.
To the action track, quarter mile we go. It is Thunderstock racing time. Oh, gee, it's Adam Moore.
Shocked me.
And Mark Chalet had another race lead in this one right here. We really thought with his Hoosiers working for him that he was going to be able to get around that racetrack. Just was not going to happen, though. Adam Moore chased down by Jason Bolster. I don't even know what else you could say about Adam Moore anymore.
Does he have a mark on that car yet? I haven't up close to it in a few few weeks. Is there even a tire mark on that car yet?
I think he's got one on the passenger side that he picked up a couple weeks ago. But Adam Morgan goes out and gets on the win in that nice-looking orange 29. Let's go to the straight stocks. You know, Chris Critter Sampson broke the track record on Saturday night in his street stock. It was set May of last year, so congrats to Chris Critter Sampson. He wins a race. Dakota Miller wins a race, but this one here, John the Madman Aaron started dead last, and he comes around, Billy Doc Niles, and wins.
Is the bumper attached this time?
It was fully attached.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago when he ran the last half of the race, that thing was just held on by bungee cords. So it's kind of cool to see he actually had the car intact when he won the race this time.
Second win for John Aaron this year. Second went to Whitehall's Mike Peters, who was not in the minivan. He had given it up to somebody else.
What?
Drazkowski used the minivan since his car was a pile. Peters was in I'm not sure what that was, Bonneville or something like that. He ends up taking second.
How can you pick out Peters if they're in a minivan in the race?
It was strange. Well, his van was in the race. Drazkowski
just wasn't him.
And he just wasn't in it, and it was pretty strange to see that. So that is how we ended up the races there. Some good racing, though, and some really interesting names. Bachman and Oxborough, again, the problems continue. Bachman blows the motor. Oxborough's in his oil path right into turn one. Some regular spinouts going on, but otherwise, overall, that was a damn good race.
You know, the sportsmen do put on a heck of a race. There's been a lot of miscues this year that shortened the field up. We were a couple of cars short Saturday night.
We only had 10 Saturday night in the feature.
Because of the accidents that happened the week before, we were a couple of short. So these guys do put on a heck of a show. They put a great race on for a small field. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. Probably not a more competitive class than this small field right now. It'd be great to see this one blow up like the late models sometime soon.
Coming up Saturday night, it's going to be one of my favorite nights, pre-race autograph night. All the drivers, all the classes on the front straightaway, all the way down to turn one, all the way down to turn four. The first 500 people get a collector's poster, which obviously you can get autographed during the night on the track. Starts at 6:25. But more importantly, I've been watching drivers' Facebooks this week. Some of the stuff that they haven't gone out and gotten from their sponsors that they're buying to give away to the kids. It just is. I've seen $100 bills. I've seen bicycles. I've seen tons of food.
Wait, what? $100 bill?
Yeah, you know,
I'm going to register for that.
A couple years ago.
I'm going to register for that.
3 years in a row, he gave away a crisp, shiny $100 bill, not made out of his garage, but from one of his sponsors.
Nice. It's into some of the stuff you get, you know, and all the drivers bringing out their new Hot Shot cards. That's always when I debuted mine was fan photo night. So it's going to be a great night. Make sure you bring some sort of a bag, like a festival bag or a grocery bag of some sort, because you're going to need it for all the stuff that you're going to be collecting during fan photo.
Your bag gets pretty heavy. I think maybe that was one of the reasons when it was time for fan photo night and he introduced his Hot Shot cards, he was always sitting down signing autographs. When we come back,
I wanted to see the kids eye to eye.
Nick Clements, oh, that was feeble, is going to join us. The Kachow number 8, second place finish at La Crosse last week. That's coming up next on Seven Rivers Racing.
Can't believe you did me that way.
You don't have to fly to Kansas City to get great barbecue. Or you don't have to drive down to Des Moines to get great pulled pork too. If you want ribs, the best in town, pulled pork or chicken too, just come on down for the best food in town at Big Boar Barbecue.
In downtown La Crosse, there's only one place where you can find award-winning barbecue. Hi, this is Jerry Beyer from Big Boar Barbecue. The people from La Crosse have spoken and voted us the best barbecue and the best caterer in La Crosse County. Try it yourself and you'll agree. We've got the highest quality ribs, pulled pork, brisket, smoked chicken, and ham. Barbecue like nowhere else. Got a meeting or special event? We could cater it. Ask about our business delivery service. Big Boar Barbecue on 3rd Street downtown and Highway 16 West Salem.
Yeah.
Whatever your perfect temperature, you'll enjoy consistent comfort with the heating and air conditioning systems homeowners rank number 1. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Save up to $1,000 on select American Standard home comfort systems. Call Carey Heating today or visit AmericanStandardAir.com for complete program eligibility, dates, details, and restrictions. Have you tried the great lunch buffet at Pizza Hut? Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1:30, Pizza Hut in La Crosse and Winona offers you an all-you-can-eat lunch buffet for just $5.99. All the salad, pasta, breadsticks, and of course, delicious piping hot pizza you can eat. How about dinner? Don't get up, get online and get a large 2-topping pizza for just $7.99. It's the best pizza delivery deal at your La Crosse and Winona Pizza Hut. Call for delivery or order online. Pizza Hut.
Welcome back, race fans. Big Boar Barbecue presents Seven Rivers Racing KQEG TV along with Billy Doc Niles. I'm the voice radio man Dan Diker. Sitting to this side of me, I always get confused. It's to my right, but if you're on the TV, it's actually the other side, I think. Would be the Ka-Chow number 8 late model this year. We had him on the program. As a matter of fact, we haven't had you on the program in quite a while, have we, Nick Clements?
Yeah, I think it's been a couple years.
Nick Clements joins us from the late model ranks at the La Crosse Fairgrounds Speedway. How are you, my friend?
Good. How are you doing?
Doing good. Good to see you back on again. And coming off a second-place podium finish at La Crosse last week, best finish you've had on late model. That had to feel good.
Yeah, it's been a while. I did win one feature my rookie year, but in the late model. But it's been a battle this year.
Now, when you say a battle, former sportsman champion, so you know the 5/8 mile, you know where to go, you know where to run, you know maybe a better line than some do. When you say battle, what is the battle?
It's just getting used to that car and trying to get it to my driving style. I drive differently. I drive one-footed compared to a lot of two-footed drivers, so just making the car turn.
Wait a minute. One-footed?
Yeah, I'm a one-footer.
What is the challenge? Because I got used to 2-foot, rather early. How come you're not used to the 2-foot?
It's just the way I've always done it. So, and I've been told don't change. So, if that's what I'm used to, then you just make the car work that way.
So you've had the advantage of racing both sportsman and late model in the last 3 years. What is the drastic difference between the two? Because, man, your sportsman cars look like they're shaped like bullets, and they're fast. You got the track record in the last 2 championships. What's the major difference between these nowadays?
It's still speed. I mean, they still carry a lot more speed through the corner, but, I mean, honestly, they probably ain't. They're getting to where it's, frames and engine, it's about it. I mean, shock-wise, they're about the same, and tires, they're on 8-inch, we're on 10-inch. So, I mean, they're slowly real similar to each other.
Now, for years, it's always been the rule that if the sportsman champion won the championship, he had to either move up a year or sit out. You've won the last 2. What changed there? Why did that happen?
They made a rule 2 out of 3, which I think it's fair. I mean, I think, if you win that much, you should probably either move up or sit out, like Danny Gilster had to every other year for the longest time. Mm-hmm. It's a good rule. It keeps it fresh, I think, which it doesn't help that the same car can be out there. Maybe they should change that rule. I don't know.
Now, when you went from sportsman to the late model this past year, did you take the same crew with you from the sportsman to the late model, and has it been a trying experience for that crew to work on something besides a sportsman now?
Yeah, it's been a little bit more of a challenge because for the most part, none of them helped me on my late model. Randy drove my late model for a year, but other than that, nobody really worked on a late model before. So it's all the same guys. We're just learning on the fly, it's a little different this time because I have Johnny Gilbertson owns the car, which, I have a ton of knowledge. I can go ask questions.
With Gilbertson owning the car, that means you got the Carlson crew and the Johnsons and all them, and maybe Toby's here a little bit too, don't you?
Oh yeah, quite a bit.
That-a-boy.
I was going to say, I mean, obviously, when we talk to drivers that are in a new class like Ryan Brown, when we talked to him a couple weeks ago, we're like, okay, well, you're brand new to this class. Who are you getting tips from? Who have you talked to? Obviously, no one's going to give away big trade secrets, but you really don't have to seek out a bunch of people in the pits because you're well-known, number 1, and number 2, very well-respected, but number 3, you've got some ears right there for you.
Right, yeah, they're always, no questions dumb, and they want, if you ever have a question, they always want you to ask because they figure, the faster you're going, you're not in their way compared to
currently 9th in points at the La Crosse Speedway in the late model ranks this year. Heading into this year, what were some of the goals you wanted to achieve? Everyone wants the track championship, and obviously you knew with some of the heavy hitters coming back and coming this year, that would be kind of hard to do. What were some of the goals you laid down?
My goal was to win a feature. I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping still. I mean, the rain shortens the season up quite a bit, so I don't know. We're about probably halfway. I'm not sure.
Double feature nights short them up.
Yeah,
there.
they do. I don't know. We'll see. That's still my goal. I want to win a feature. That would be cool. So I was hoping it was last week, but.
Talk about last week. Corey Jankowski's behind you, even though you had quite a bit of asphalt space between you and his car. And you're in Jesse Poxick's sights. Matter of fact, you even got on his back end a couple of times latter part of that race, which showed a lot of people. Nick's really getting into this ride right now, which we had talked about. Talk about last week's race.
Yeah, it was, well, to start the night, I don't know, the car's been doing some evil things, which is tight and probably like 90% of the drivers out there, and we went into the heat race and it was complete garbage, which I didn't know what to do, and I just started turning things, threw a big wrench at it, and it somehow worked. I'm not really sure, but we just, picked off a couple spots, and then I could see them, and then I kept driving harder and harder, and I bounced off the wall a couple times, but then I had to tell myself, settle down, get in your race pace there, but we just ran out of time.
One thing that's different from the last time you ran late models is the field is probably about a third bigger than what you're used to. Are you surprised by the competition this year?
No, we knew there was going to be a big car count, which we had heard, over and over throughout the winter. And I was just glad it showed up because it's so much fun to race with, 30 guys on opening night compared to 50, whatever it was the last few years, which, the more cars the merrier. I hope the more keep coming.
Nice.
And of course, it's made for some great competition, and the fans like that. I mean, last week's top three of Jesse Poxick, which we just showed you in the segment one, and of course, Nick Clements and Corey Jankowski. Jankowski's never ran a full season late model like he is at La Crosse Speedway, so it's been interesting to see the different names crawl up in there. As we wind down the segment right here, of course, we're going to give Nick some time because Nick has a lot of sponsors, and he brings them every single year.
Take a look at this.
Professionally done.
On the phone.
Yes, he doesn't have crumpled paper. He wasn't taking chicken scratch. You always have a ton of sponsors that like to help you out every single year, and you're very grateful to the people you have on board.
Right. Yeah. I got to thank my wife and daughters for allowing me to do it because, if they didn't allow it, then
you guys ever going to have a son?
I don't know. Probably not. Gotta thank John Gilbertson for allowing me to drive the car. Kevin and Mike Gilbertson, Kevin Owen, they've been down there and they helped me in the garage. So, without a crew, you can't do it. So, and then all my great sponsors. Clements Automotive, Genzi's Game Day Pub, Interstate Roofing, Features and Holman, The Vault, Dean's Satellite and Security, A1 Advanced Pumping, Crazy K Saloon, Mad Max, Laufenberg Show Cattle, A1 Fire Protection, Weir's Machine, JHW, Lloyd's Speed Stop, Gilbo's Muskie Lounge, Chester Cheeto, Big D Financing, Munzie, Premier Coachworks, Tundra, Epic Media, KO Designs, Doug's Classic Plastic, Booze, and Gordon Epping.
We asked this about someone earlier who had a list like this. Is there room for any more?
There's always room.
It's the same
Standard answer.
Every single
Standard
time.
answer.
Doesn't matter how big or small the check is, there's always room on the number 8 Ka-Chow late model of Nick Clements. Nick, greatly appreciate you joining us on the show again. Congrats on that nice podium finish last week. Hopefully that was a stepping stone for you to get where you want to go and get that feature win.
Right. Perfect. Thank you for having me.
Nick's going to be on the radio program also this week. We'll spend a little bit more time talking about the complexities of getting into La Crosse late model and leading on Bill Niles, who went from one car to a late model. And there is a big difference right there. A lot of people kind of think, well, it's the same speed, maybe different car. It's a totally different ball of wax. And we're going to hear more from Nick on the radio program on 1460 WBOG on Saturday. Coming up next, we're going to go faster, pastor, rewind twice on Seven Rivers Racing.
You don't have to fly to Kansas City to get great barbecue. or you don't have to drive down to Des Moines to get great pulled pork too. If you want ribs, the best in town, pulled pork or chicken too, just come on down for the best food in town at Big Boar Barbecue.
The people have spoken. Hi, this is Jerry Beyer from Big Boar Barbecue. Recently voted the best barbecue and best caterer in La Crosse County by popular vote. And no, this wasn't a rigged election. Try it yourself. Taste our delicious, tender, fall off the bone ribs, pulled pork, brisket, smoked ham, or chicken. And you'll agree this is the best barbecue. You'll find us on 3rd Street downtown and on Highway 16 in West Salem. But our catering truck can come right to your door for any special occasion. Big Boar Barbecue. Now that's a mouthful.
Yeah.
Whatever your perfect temperature, you'll enjoy consistent comfort with the heating and air conditioning systems homeowners rank #1. American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning.
Save up to $1,000 on select American Standard home comfort systems. Call Carey Heating today or visit AmericanStandardAir.com for complete program eligibility, dates, details, and restrictions. Have you tried the great lunch buffet at Pizza Hut? Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1:30, Pizza Hut in La Crosse and Winona offers you an all-you-can-eat lunch buffet for just $5.99. All the salad, pasta, breadsticks, and of course, delicious piping hot pizza you can eat. How about dinner? Don't get up, get online and get a large 2-topping pizza for just $7.99. It's the best pizza delivery deal at your La Crosse and Winona Pizza Hut. Call for delivery or order online. Pizza Hut.
Welcome back. Big Boar Barbecue presents Seven Rivers Racing KQEG TV. Bill Duckniles and Dan Dyker. I want to thank Nick Clements for joining us on the program. Faster Pastors were out in full force this past Saturday night. We had, I think, 9 females and enough males, I think 21 of them, to have 2 different heat races. And we've never really had a chance to highlight them before. They only come out once a year. So we thought we would show you women's Faster Pastor race. Kayla Thomas of the Avoca Bible Church in Avoca. It's about an hour and a half from here. She wins this race. We're going to show you this race. And while you're watching this race, think, yeah, that is Pastor Andy's granddaughter.
Now, again, we don't have a roster of who's in what cars, so we're just going to say, you probably know better than me. The number 3 has a substantial lead. They knew who it is. Oh, tight battle right up front, side by side, door to door. Sneaking to the inside. Somebody call the cops. She just stole that spot. Well, our top 2 competitors are really going for it. That Alero on the back has heard better days. So the 3's not out of contention yet. I think maybe Brendan Netwall, Faith Baptist, is leading this one. We're going to find out. This is a race of a lifetime's first and probably only opportunity for these drivers. Kayla Thomas is running the 3 car. She's in second. Whoa, a lot of Kayla fans up there. So it's a 2-car battle as we are halfway home, 4 down, 4 to go. Can Kayla get through the bobbing and weaving of lap cars to her advantage now? Look at this. This is fantastic driving. Everyone's getting out of the leader's way. They watch this on TV. Kayla looks to go to the inside, but the brake lights come on. Nothing going yet, but she's about a quarter of a car length back. Then there's the 26. Just having a good old time. She's got a great cheering section up there. One more lap car to go around. Somebody found the gas pedal in that number 33 Pontiac. Oh, that's going to hurt. Kayla losing some asphalt to the white car. Checkered flag is out. How about a big scream for all of our lady pastors here at the Crosse Speedway?
Great job by Kayla Thomas. There was 2 faster pastors for the males. Here's the first one, Jaron Mills of Berean Baptist Church in Galesville.
You'll want to pay attention because, you know, if your pastor does something goofy, you're going to want to rub that in next Sunday or Wednesday night. How about, yeah, do it tomorrow. Be fresh in your memory. Somewhat of a log jam up front. 0 and the 3 were awfully fast in the females portion of the faster pastor race. 87 just dogged the tire in turn 1. Gas pedals on the right. Here's the battle. The 3 car now in the race lead. 3:0:26.
11 cars, and they mean business.
Well, that 3 car just got out in front and is on the move. This time by, we're going to be halfway home. 4 in and 4 to go. Should just open the sunroof on that number 3. You're on a nice little Saturday night cruise. I think the number 3 driver just waved in the grandstands. That's kind of a comfortable lead. And about 3 to go. Racing in all 4 corners of the action track. Quarter mile with the faster pastors. Brought to you by Thrivent Financial. Some good side-by-side racing. Some of these pastors are not being afraid of who's driving next to them. White flag flies for the number 3 car. Oh, that motor just about said goodnight. That's gonna smell pretty good here in a minute. 21 is just zipping around all over the place. And there's your winner, the 21. Holy cow!
All righty, congratulations for those 2 top winners. We do have to mention that it was Andy LaFaber of Rivers Harveston on Alaska won the 2nd fastest pastors race. Wish we had enough time in the segment to show that one, but that number 3 car, Chuck's getting some good house cars in his stable.
That's, yeah, it's amazing. I didn't think Chuck had that money, but just when you think you don't have enough, some more pop up. So Chuck has a pretty healthy stock there, apparently.
That's going to do it for this week's program. I again want to thank Nick Clements for joining us, the Ka-Chow number 8. I want to let you know the program being brought to you by Big Bar Barbecue, Pizza Hut in La Crosse and Winona, and Carey Heating and Air Conditioning. We've got a lot more video coming up next weekend. Of course, recaps from La Crosse. Here in a couple of weeks, the Tundras and the Midwest Truck Series are going to be out. We're going to show you a bunch of that as well. For Billy Doc Niles and Radio Man Dan Diker, thanks for joining us in the program and supporting your local racetracks.
You've been watching the Big Boar Barbecue presentation of 7 Rivers Racing on KQEG TV. 7 Rivers Racing is brought to you by Big Boar Barbecue on Highway 16 West Salem and downtown La Crosse. Big Boar Barbecue, now that's a mouthful. By Carey Heating and Air Conditioning, your residential specialists on La Crosse's north side. By Pizza Hut in La Crosse and Winona. Pizza Hut. Join us next week at this same time for Doc and Dan and 7 Rivers Racing on KQEG TV.